Hello and welcome to the United Stand for this Manchester United versus Real Salt Lake live preview on the lunch break, giving it large, whatever. Anyway, Manchester United versus Real Salt Lake, and the big questions that I think about are the 3-5-2 formation and whether we'll keep that going. Will he start Lukaku and Rashford up front? That's interesting as well, but the rumour is that he won't actually stick with the 3-5-2 against Real Salt Lake, that he wants to not stick with it. I don't know why. I would, which I'll come to in a minute, but essentially one of two reasons. One, we're going to play it next season and he wants to mix it up a bit, or two, he's going to try lots of different formations and 3-5-2 was a bit of a red herring. I would stick with it. I think we've got a lot of centre backs and I think it suits us. We need to get more width into this team, especially with the likes of Lukaku in the side, and I don't think that the four at the back that we used last season really provided enough width in the final third of the team. So I would go with the 3-5-2. I liked the look of Lindelof and Bailly, and what I would include to be Daley Blind as the three at the back when we get back into the new season. At the moment it doesn't really matter, it's more about players getting used to the formation. So I would hope that we would play 3-5-2 in the early hours of tomorrow morning against Real Salt Lake. Little plug there, early hours, we will be live at 2 AM with the watch along. Join us for that. It was a great experience on Saturday night. How will he line up and what will we do? Well, I think the positives about Real Salt Lake is that they did beat LA Galaxy 6-2, so they're a step up from LA Galaxy, obviously, and I think fitness is very important for United at the moment because it is only our second game of the pre-season tour and they need to get that fitness back up and worked through these harder games that will come up against City, Real Madrid and Barcelona. So I think Salt Lake will be a step up from LA Galaxy, which will obviously benefit ourselves. So looking forward to it, really looking forward to it, and looking forward to how he mixed things up. The second thing I wanted to talk about was how will he mix things up. We saw Lukaku and Martial up front in the second half. We saw Rashford and Mata in the first half. Will we see Rashford and Lukaku together? Obviously, the gap between LA Galaxy and Real Salt Lake is only 48 hours. So again, I think we'll see 45 minutes of each players. I'd actually like to see Mitchell get a few more minutes. He came on for the last 10, didn't he, against LA Galaxy? I was very, very impressed with him. I'd like to see him play at left wing back rather than Lingard. We've got Darmian who can play one half, play Mitchell the other. I was impressed with him. I'd like to see him play. But yeah, I would like to see Lukaku with Rashford just to see how they work together. I don't know whether they would work that well because I think Lukaku and Rashford want to be the pinnacle, the front, the furthest further forward, whereas Martial I think is quite happy to play in behind. I'd like to see Pereira playing in a more advanced position for sure, because Mourinho has played him as a CDM in the both times he played in Wigan last pre-season and obviously on Saturday. But you saw that turn he did. As I said last night, he turns that LA Galaxy so badly. I think he went back to the future with Michael J. Fox, which was filmed in LA. But yeah, so I'd like to see Pereira play a little bit further forward. Obviously, I've said obviously a lot today because I think it is quite obvious that we will use a lot of players and it's not about prioritising certain players over others at the moment. It's about getting game time in. But what I think we would like to see is that when you compare the first half against LA Galaxy, the team in the final third, when you look at Mata, Fellaini, also Carrick in the midfield, Lingard, it wasn't a particularly fast side. The second half you had Martial, Lukaku, Pogba, Pereira, and they're all, and Mkhitaryan, who looked very fast. So I'd like to see us mix that around, because having watched the game, and I'm sure a lot of you did as well, I found the first half, even though we won 3-0, wasn't that interesting to watch, because it was quite a boring side in relation to the flair and the pace in the team. The second half was a total contrast, and although we won the first half against LA Galaxy, obviously that was their reserves. So I'd like to see us mix it up a bit. So if we do play Lukaku and Rashford up front, I'd like to see one of Pereira with Fellaini, and then the second half maybe play Lingard and put Martial in the other half, if you know what I mean. Just mix it up a little bit. So yeah, I'd like to see that happen. Whether we win the game or not, we should be winning the game, but really it all comes down to fitness and improvement. And I think the players that came out with real credibility against LA Galaxy were Anthony Martial, Marcus Rashford, Andreas Pereira, Juan Mata, Mkhitaryan, and then I think the rest of the players pretty much, you know, not bad but not fantastic. So we're looking for that progress, and we're looking for players to sort of catch up with Martial and Rashford and Pereira. It's a great opportunity. I think Lindelof and Lukaku both got a little bit of criticism, which is fine. It's their first pre-season game in a Manchester United shirt. Certainly, if they continued like that throughout the whole US tour, it's not time to start calling them flops. They'll be judged on what they do in the Premier League, because that's what matters, in the Champions League. So, you know, they are new players, and is it a surprise that new players were probably, you know, a little bit more rusty than others when they're coming into a situation that's foreign to them? So I was encouraged by what I saw against LA Galaxy. I'm looking forward to the Real Salt Lake game, and I think it's really just about where players are playing and how they perform when they're given their opportunities. I think if you're Andreas Pereira, if you're Anthony Martial, if you're Henrik Mkhitaryan, then you've enhanced your you've enhanced your situation in Jose Mourinho and Manchester United's eyes, and they must keep building upon that. If you're Lukaku and Lindelof, well, you've been bought by this manager, which shows a real faith in you, and the work ethic is clearly there with both players. You can try too hard. I think Lindelof has got to get used to his centre-backs around him and what's ahead of him, and his positional sense will improve as soon as he starts to do that. And I think in Lukaku's position it's quite similar but different in the fact that he's a forward, so he's got to be thinking about where the players are around him, when to make the moves. You know, Paul Pogba, some of the that pass he put out to Valencia that led to was it Mkhitaryan's goal, was just immense, and those sort of passes are there on a plate for Lukaku if he starts making the right runs, which he will. I'm very happy with what Manchester United are doing. Will we see Perisic sign today? It's meant to be Perisic Monday. We'll have to wait and see, won't we? I've got no update on that. Hopefully it will happen, because we need to get it going. Some people are saying it's lagging, which, look, it's a live stream and I'm walking around. It shouldn't do, but if it does, I apologise for that. It's fine for a lot of people. I've got my portable Wi-Fi, so is it? Let's have a look at it. Yeah, I've got lots of bars. It might just be where you are. Fabinho, no update on him. But I hope a lot of you, I know I appreciate it's early hours of a Tuesday morning, so I know a lot of you will probably have work, etc. tomorrow, but I hope a lot of you are going to share the tiredness and get up and watch it on the watch along with us, because it was a great experience for the LA Galaxy game. We've got some really good games coming up, you know, Man City on Friday. I'm certainly going to do it, and I'll just get through it at work tomorrow without the sleep. So Ben Howard says read my comment. Mike Magnier says that Mourinho said that he's definitely going to start with a back four. I think he will. I don't think we'll see the 3-5-2, and I don't think that means that the 3-5-2 is dead. I actually quite like the 3-5-2. I'm going to turn around and go a different way. I actually like the 3-5-2, but I just think that he has to be quite clever about it. If he plays 3-5-2 every single game, it's a big warning sign to everyone in the Premier League that that's how Manchester United are going to play. So clever, you know, being actually tactically quite clever is a good idea, to mix the formations up. Plus, we don't want to have just one formation, and it's important that the new players, whether, you know, Pereira is effectively a new player, even though he's a United player. He wasn't here last season. It's effectively a new signing to Mourinho, as is Lukaku, as is Lindelof. So he needs to get them familiar with lots of different formations. Harry, I'm on the road to nowhere. I'm actually on my lunch break and I've got training at 1 AM. I was going to do it then, but adaptable, that's what the United stand is. So just having a little walk around. Gnome says the channel is so underrated. I think we're doing all right. Steady growth, organic, keep spreading the word. That's what we do on the United stand. But yeah, I'm excited. I mean, the transfer news, what I would say about that transfer news is a little bit frustrating, but I think we're massively helped now by the fact that United are back playing, so we've got that to sort of keep us handy. And it's nice that on a Monday night, well, early hours of Tuesday morning, we've got a Manchester United football match. I'll be knackered tomorrow. I know I'm going to be knackered tomorrow, but I look forward to watching United. I love the US tour, and I like the fact that you get 2 45-minute games watching different players. So if you can't get up, we'll have a match reaction for you. That'll go up at about 5 AM. If you can get up, we're going to be live at 2 AM. Me and Mad Marcus will do the watch along with you, and yeah, really looking forward to it. Let's see what the formation is. Let's see how he lines it up, but we're going to get to see a lot of our players. And I just want to say as well, I don't think I've made it as clear as I wanted to on the situation with. So I read a comment this morning about it, and I have said it, but I don't know whether enough people sort of understand where I'm coming from. The transfer business will take care of itself, but I do totally agree with what I've said, and a few people have said, that people like Anthony Martial, Paul Pogba and Mkhitaryan with a full year and a full pre-season under them, Martial, as I said, Rashford a year on, Pereira, obviously, these are like new signings. They're like 5 new signings in themselves for different reasons. So I'm optimistic about United. I do think we need to go and make a couple of more signings, whether it's Matic and Perisic. Ultimately, whether they're the players that I want or not, they are experienced players, and they might not be what we want, but I'd rather take them than nothing, if that makes sense. They're not what I want. I mean, I want Perisic. Matic I don't want, but if it's Matic or nothing, I'd take Matic, because we do need the numbers. And yes, Martial's not going anywhere. I'd be madness. I spoke about that. If you haven't watched the transfer show, I spoke about Martial this morning. It'd be absolutely crazy to let him go anyway, but based on how happy he looks in training, and based how well he played against LA Galaxy, you'd be mad to let him go. But he's a fantastic player anyway. We'd be stupid to let him go. It's not the Inter Milan story now, it's AC Milan, who just seem to be buying everybody, but that would be absolutely ridiculous. Can you stand in one place? Now I've got to get my exercise on my lunch. I'm going into training in a bit, and I need to get me 1,000 steps, 10,000 steps. I don't really do that, but no, I need to get a bit of sun and a bit of air. You know what I mean? I need to find how I get back on this canal as well. Oh, I've gone totally wrong. I can get down this way, I think. I've gone wrong. Stay with me. Stay with me. I need to... oh yes, it's back round here. Shall I stay live for a little bit longer, just because I've got lost and I want to get back on the canal? What about Eric Dyer, says Daniel Daku? I'd take Daniel. I'm going to take some of your questions now. This is fantastic. I would take Eric Dyer over Matic. Again, he's not my first choice, but I do think that Mourinho could get something out of him. There's a pub there. I'd love a pint. Great shirt, yes. You know, this is what I always say about the United stand though, and I think this is why it works, mainly because of you lot and the interactivity we have, but also because everybody who runs the United stand and is involved in the United stand, we all actually do have day jobs that we take seriously, and we take the United stand seriously, but because it's not our bread and butter, so to speak, it means that we can give real fan opinion, because, you know, ultimately if it all ended tomorrow, which I don't intend it to do, we've all got, you know, proper jobs that provide a living, so it means that we are able to give real fan opinion and not be worried about, oh, we better not say that because we might lose views and everything like that, and that's replicated by you lot as well. So that's why the United stand works. Andrew Gilmore says he thinks it's good that Lukaku got criticism. Look, yeah, I do as well. Look, if he doesn't perform, he's there to be criticised, but by Manchester United fans, not by the media who start, you know, drilling in about his price and this, that and the other. We're aware of what Lukaku's faults are when we bought him, but we back him, and Mourinho, I'm sure, will sort those problems out. It wasn't a great start, but ultimately you can't judge him on 45 minutes against LA Galaxy. I'll judge him at the end of October when he's had a good 10 games in the Premier League for Manchester United. It's a hard job, it's a step up. It's a big step up for him. Any word on Morata to AC Milan for 61 million? I was hoping that we might get Morata. David said, would you ever go Promark with a partnership? I don't think anybody would approach us really, but probably keep that answer back to the Q&A on a Saturday, to be honest, but my initial thought is probably no. I enjoy the freedom of the United stand and the ability that we have to just remember, actually tonight, that reminds me, Skype Goldbridge will be on tonight, but because we've got to get up early tomorrow, I'm not going to wait till 8:30 to do it. It'll be just after 8 o'clock, probably 8 o'clock. We'll do the Skype show tonight. If you're going to join us for that. Suhash thinks that we'll sign 3 more in this window and 3 gone. I would be very happy with 3. I do think it will be Perisic and Matic and maybe one other. I'd like to see us sign a striker, because that would, if we're going to play 2 up front. Nainggolan signed the new contract, says Naveen. Demarcio right then, he said that back in May, so that's happened. of people asking what time the game is. It's 3 a.m. 3 a.m. So we'll be live at 2 a.m. and Mike says that we're going to make an offer for Eric Dyer. I do think that Eric Dyer is probably Mourinho's #1 target, but if you look at what Kyle Walker's cost, 50 million, I think we're going to have to pay 60. There you go. If it's what Mourinho wants, I'd rather we spent 60 million on Eric Dyer than 40 million on Matic, because let's just get what Mourinho wants, and then he can be judged on what his first choices are, isn't it? So I'd rather he was judged on his first choices, whether we agree with them or not. Mbappe, I don't know. I think he'll go to Real Madrid, but it wouldn't surprise me if he came to Manchester United. Holy JJ says that Perisic is done. It's difficult to react to Perisic because there's a lot of people saying it's done, and let's not forget, and this might surprise people, but it is true, what we say on the United Stand and what you lot put on comments on the United Stand tweets, it's not unheard of for that to be picked up by the press. And let's be honest, the only two things I know I've been told this summer was Lindelof was going to sign and Perisic will sign. Anything else we talk about is just real speculation and chat amongst fans, but that sometimes still gets picked up, so I don't trust the press. And last night there was a link from ESPN saying that the deal had been done with Perisic, and then an ESPN reporter said that that was fake. So I do think we'll sign Perisic, and apparently it's going to happen today, so let's see. I'd like to see that happen. Somebody says they've just seen me walking with my phone. Well, you're more than welcome to come up and say hello. You get yourself on the United Stand. United, Renato Sanchez, I'd like him at United. I mean, Milan are just doing fantastic business, aren't they? Absolutely fantastic. And Mahrez, I've seen the name Mahrez coming up very, very, very much. Jesus, I don't know. I said a year ago when we spoke about Alvaro Mahrez, Riyad Mahrez, that I do like him, but I think he's a bit of a one-season wonder, and he wasn't fantastic last year. And also defensively, he's not as good. I think Perisic is better than Mahrez, is what I'm trying to say badly. He works harder, and I don't really want Mahrez. I don't, to be honest. Whew, right, that was a hell of a walk. I'm going to go and get myself a drink and get on to this training, but thanks everybody, really enjoyed that. Nice to do something a little bit raw, and a Manchester United v Real Salt Lake preview. Enjoy the rest of your day if it's sunny where you are. I'll certainly enjoy mine. If Perisic gets signed, we'll do a video for you, but if not, live tonight at 8 o'clock with the Skype Goldbridge show, and I hope a lot of you are going to join us for the watch along. At 2 a.m. we'll be live, but we've got Skype Goldbridge before that where I can promote it a little bit more. But until that time, I just want to give you a nice view of all these canal boats over the bridge. I think that'd be nice for those who bother to stay to the end. Really nice. Can you sort of see it behind me? Yeah. Very nice. There we go. Don't fall in the canal. That would make us go viral. Yeah, that's the point. If we were really after views, I could just fall in this canal, shouldn't I? Breaking news on Twitter is that we've signed Fabinho. No. It is. You can't beat the UK when we get the weather. We just don't get it very often, but it's a fantastic country when we get the weather. Anyway, enough of my promotion of UK, England and all that. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the preview. Give us your thoughts on formations and how you'd like to line up. I'd quite like to see Martial play with Rashford, to be honest. I thought Martial as the support striker worked really well. Rashford and Lukaku I think are too similar, but let's see what happens. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all soon and have a good afternoon.